So I can Macho Gotcha their Rotom. Yeah, that just KOs. I had a feeling at +1 in Sun. Tough Claws. Mega Charizard X attack stat. Here, let's click a Flare Blitz into their Rotom too. And also Macho Gotcha. There's no need. The Flare Blitz just KOs. We find ourselves once again at the end of a VGC season. The Turin special event was this past weekend, and as far as this channel is concerned, there's nothing else to cover until the next season starts up, I guess in September, unless something from the Japan Championship really grabs my attention. But honestly, maybe this is a failing on my part. Because the Asian circuits are separate from the rest of the world, I don't tend to look very closely at them, or even sometimes really know where to look. So there's no current plan to feature anything from Japan Nationals. Maybe I will if I'm really moved by some team that I find out about. But otherwise, this is the final Tournament Team Tuesday of the season. Once again, for the second year in a row, a little bit of an anticlimactic ending with a special event in Italy. Hopefully next year there will be something bigger to build up to and end on. But to try to make up for it, I am using not just one team this time, but 5. And I think I'm going to just do my best of 7 format with all 5 teams, so if it takes a long time, hey, that's more content. We are starting with the team that won the Turin special event, piloted, I believe, by Marco Silva. And this team is super interesting to me because, of course, I've been a Mega Gengar player lately. I mean, honestly, I haven't been playing Champions much at all in the last couple weeks, but I've played a couple of different kinds of tournaments with my own Mega Gengar team with Perish Song, but also with other options. This team used by Marco Silva looks very different. Some parts of the skeleton are about the same, right? You have the Perish Song Gengar, although he has Disable instead of Sludge Bomb. I like Sludge Bomb for hitting a little bit harder than Shadow Ball and having that poison chance, but if you are dropping an attack, it is the one that makes sense to drop. And this Gengar is able to use Disable to buy itself some time to stall out the Perish counter. Then you have Incineroar, absolutely necessary on Gengar Perish teams in this format, I am convinced, with your typical Fake Out, Parting Shot, Protect to help Gengar get the Perish Song set up and get through the turns, but also able to function as a tanky defensive pivot. This one with the Pasho Berry to stop water type attacks, like I guess a Basculegion Wave Crash or something from Blastoise, instead of the Citrus Berry that I've been using on my team. We do have Soundproof Komodo here once again with the same moves, more or less the same set that I'm familiar with. So I've been a little bit of a Komodo doubter at times, but here it is, winning a major tournament, definitely proving itself. I think mostly I've just not been playing Komodo optimally. The Clangorous Soul setup is very valuable, but it's also risky, and I found a little bit more success just going for damage with Komodo and creating openings for fast threats like Gengar to get KOs later. So that's probably more the kind of thing I'll look to do here. And then we have a few pieces that are not on my Gengar team, although I've thought about Kingambit a few times because my team is pretty weak to Basculegion. Kingambit's a pretty good answer to that. I've thought about Sneasler. This is a standard White Herb Sneasler. It gives the team a second Fake Out. It gives it some more answers to fast threats and to dark types that threaten Gengar and so on. And then this team also has a second Mega in the form of Mega Floette with the Turbo offensive set with 3 Fairy type attacks. So there's no Encore on this team, so they can't do an Encore Disable Trap. They just have the Disable on Gengar, but this team definitely has more offensive options, and it's not dependent on something like transforming a Palafin like my team is. So it's able to more conventionally sweep through an opposing team as well, and that still may pair in a useful way with the Gengar mode, because of course if you can get 2 KOs quickly, then Perish Song can be a good way to close out an endgame. But this team definitely has a lot more ways to play than just that. It's a really interesting, flexible take on the Gengar-Komodo duo, and so I'm looking forward to seeing what it can do on the ladder. Last thing I'll note, open team sheets include Natures now. I guess Showdown is not updated for that yet. Or Pokepaste, or whoever would have to, so you don't have the Natures here. But while I don't have... I'm recording this like right after the tournament ended. While I don't have the EV spreads used in the actual tournament, I do have the Natures, and that's able to set me down the right path to an extent. And while I'm mostly not surprised by the Natures on these teams, some Pokemon did surprise me here and there. But I don't think there's anything too crazy on this team. So let's see what we can do now with Mega Gengar and Mega Floette, a duo I'm not sure I've seen before, even though they're 2 of the top Megas. First opponent has Whimsicott, Tyranitar, Corviknight, Scovillain, Primarina, and Gallade. So it's probably Mega Scovillain. Could also be Mega Tyranitar or Mega Gallade. Either one of those could Mega. Scovillain is often not an only Mega on a team, although it could be. I think Mega Tyranitar is pretty likely. Either way, it's sand stuff. So Gengar looks a little bit weak here, but Floette then looks stronger. They do have a couple of good fairy resists in Corviknight and Scovillain. Actually, I'm not sure how I beat Corviknight with this team. So right off the bat, there's a matchup that I'm really kind of uncertain about. I do kind of want to just lead with Floette and go for damage. Maybe Floette and Incineroar. I think I'm going to go for the Floette mode in this game. Maybe I bring Gengar anyway because that's one of my best Corviknight answers. It feels weird bringing both of them. But I feel like this team does have room to do that sometimes. Gengar and Komodo also care a lot less about being burned than these other two. I'll bring Gengar and... It's Sneasler or Komodo. And I don't have much time to decide. I'm going to bring Sneasler. Komodo is really bad into Primarina. It's also not great into Gallade, which gets Wide Guard. I feel like Sneasler is a little bit more flexible here. I do immediately get my Incineroar intimidated with that Mirror Armor on the Corviknight. I also do have the option to just click Flare Blitz into Corviknight. I might get outspread by Primarina depending on its set. But you know what? I'm down to just play super aggressively into this Corviknight to try to get rid of it because it's a giant threat. Moonblast does 40. The Iron Head Floette back for a bunch of damage. Primarina does outspeed Incineroar, but I do have the Pasho Berry. Floette narrowly survives the Hyper Voice. However, that was maybe not worthwhile because Floette took a ton of damage for what? I can't even Mega Evolve Gengar now. And Incineroar is obviously not going to take a Hyper Voice so well again. But Floette's the fastest mon here. I can Light of Ruin the Primarina. They have Aqua Jet. Okay. That makes sense. That's a good tech. I do finally get rid of the Corviknight, probably at too great a cost. I'll go Gengar next, as they go Scovillain. Just going to protect here and Shadow Ball this. I should have targeted Primarina and actually forced them to click the Rage Powder. Yeah, they don't even click it. What I really wanted to hit there was Primarina. Oh well. I don't know how this team beats Corviknight, and that's why I played super aggressively into it, and that wasn't the move. Honestly, maybe I should have led Mega Gengar against this team. I do think that would have been somewhat better, actually. I guess I'll let Incineroar go down here. Thanks to the Leech Seed recovery, Scovillain is out of range of the Shadow Ball. Yeah, Mega Floette looked pretty strong into a lot of their team, but knowing that the Corviknight and the Scovillain were such threats, they can just Rage Powder here. They still don't. Do they not have Rage Powder? They do have the Kebia Berry on Primarina, which I didn't see coming. So they definitely got me with some surprises here. I guess that's why they felt fine to not Rage Powder. They still don't, though. They protect both their Pokemon, okay. Sneasler's super low, but they also get some more Leech Seed damage. And I dropped a Leech Seed next turn anyway. I have to target Scovillain here. Actually, it doesn't matter because I dropped a burn damage anyway, but they have Aqua Jet in the Primarina. Alright, so that opponent got me good. No two ways around that. I think Mega Gengar was the better Mega there. I just let it get scared off by the Tyranitar when I shouldn't have, especially with two fighting types on the team. So hopefully I've shaken off some rust. That was a pretty rough one. But that's 0-1 for this team. Let's see what happens next. We got a Rain team. Almost looks like Cybertron Rain, but there's no Sableye. Looks like a more offensive kind of Archaladon Rain team. Archaladon, Basculegion, Pelipper, Classic Core. They've got Mega Dragonite probably as well. Taking advantage of the rain with that guaranteed hit Hurricane. This is a really scary offensive team. Then they have Sneasler and Kingambit. This is a really scary offensive team. I'm not sure how to deal with it. What else is new? Sorry, I'm fidgeting with a pen and I just hit the mic with it. That probably sounded interesting. I mean, Komodo could potentially go crazy into this team if I get it set up right. If I get it set up. I can see Komodo doing a lot of work. I think Gengar Komodo is the lead here. Gengar can put some pressure on Pelipper. I think I bring Kingambit for sure so I don't just lose to Basculegion. And then I kind of like Floette into their two dragons. I am again bringing both Megas. Probably I Mega Evolve Gengar this time. But Light of Ruin is still strong even if Floette's not Mega Evolved, right? So I'm just going to Mega Shadow Ball Pelipper. I'll just go straight for Clanging Scales. I would like to get my setup, but if I can remove Pelipper quickly, that helps a lot here. Let's see. Electroshock comes out. And one-shots Gengar. And Pelipper survives. Does it go for Tailwind or Hurricane? Tailwind. Okay, that didn't really go the way I wanted. Our Chaladon's already at +1. I'm going to go Kingambit here. Sucker Punch can keep the Pelipper honest while I try to Aura Sphere our Chaladon, but something's probably taking a ton of damage first. What is this command? They gave me their open team sheet. They have Aura Sphere on our Chaladon. And Choppleberry. I didn't know either of those things. It's up here in their sheet, but oh, now I do. Now I'm already down to just Komodo and Floette. I'm having a rough time trying to pilot this team. Like, take away my Palafin, and I guess I just don't know what to do. I also don't have Ninetales for weather control here. Maybe the fact that I've been a Mega Gengar player lately, it's actually kind of hurting me because I don't know what to do with a different Mega Gengar team. I'm so used to the one that I have. I don't know. I'm going to fish for double protects. No, I'm not. Their Sneasler's going to outspeed my stuff anyway. Just going to attack. So I talked this up as a more flexible version of Gengar stuff, and it is. But that doesn't mean that I know how to use it. And Gengar with another Mega I'm having some trouble with right away. That's become pretty clear. Because I feel like Gengar always wants to Mega Evolve if it comes to a game, but there's an opportunity cost in that I'm not used to because I'm used to running it without another Mega. 0-2 start now. Next we get some pretty typical Froslass offense. Froslass, Garchomp, Talonflame, Kingambit, Sneasler, Basculegion. I should be able to figure out a line into this. Floette's not that good here. I mean, it's fine, but I feel like I can focus in on the Gengar. This seems like a wordy way of saying good luck, have fun, so I'll say good luck, have fun. Let's do some Gengar stuff that I actually know. I like Gengar Sneasler lead, I think. With Incineroar and Kingambit in the back. Maybe there's room for Komodo here. But with Sneasler, I have a fast fake out into... Oh, there's Sneasler. Well, that changes things a bit. Yeah, I'm just going to go for a Shadow Ball into Froslass. They can switch if they want. I'll take my chances with a fake out into their Sneasler. We both have a Ghost type next to Sneasler that can't be faked out. We both Mega Evolve. They protect the Froslass. I get a pig fake out into their Sneasler. I could have knocked it out there. But I wasn't sure whose fake out would come out first. The fact that they stayed in with both Mons, they have like Throat Chop Sneasler. You don't see that super often in this format. I'll go for a Dire Claw into it. Can fish for status at least. Does it resist both of my attacks? Maybe I should close combat to get the Unburden. Okay, now they switch Froslass out to Talonflame. The Sneasler still stays in. Are they about to get me with Throat Chop? No, it's close combat into my Sneasler. They went for the Unburden tech. Fair enough. Yeah, again, I should probably have done that too. Well, they don't have Gale Wings now, so let's just Shadow Ball Talonflame again. I can intimidate their Sneasler now. Protect my Sneasler first. Not really, they have Throat Chop. I called it out, but then when they didn't click it and all that time, I stopped believing. Alright, let's fake out their Sneasler and close combat Talonflame. They're going to be faster though, right? I think I have to fake out Talonflame. But my Sneasler also drops to a close combat. I need them to attack Incineroar is what this works out to. And they do. And it's a -1, it doesn't KO. Although Incineroar is going to have a harder time standing up to Froslass now. I get my Unburden finally. Froslass is in. Just gonna do this. They get a chance to knock out Sneasler if they want. They just go for Aurora Veil instead. Flare Blitz still does a ton, and it gets the burn. That's lucky, because that's chip damage. And what's their last mon? Basque Legion. Okay, I can probably win with Kingambit now. Preserving Kingambit all this time looks like it'll pay off for me. I'm going to Dire Claw Basque Legion first. Again, I can fish for status. They protect Froslass. They don't protect Basque Legion. Don't get a status. I do get some damage, especially with that Wave Crash. The Aurora Veil could be an issue, of course, but... might have even been better to Parting Shoot the Basque Legion that turn. I'll click it now. Nah, I'll click Flare Blitz into Froslass. We're just going to attack here. Sucker Punch Basque Legion. It KOs through the Aurora Veil. And Kingambit definitely beats Froslass now, right? Because the burn damage is going to tick down even if they play the Sucker Punch mind game. So that burn really pays off for me here. I can also weave in protects with my Sucker Punches. Yeah, so the burn was a guaranteed win con, so that actually mattered quite a bit. Finally get one on the board there. 1 and 2. Still a ways to go. That was somewhat more comfortable Mega Gengar gaming for me, and Kingambit did exactly what I hope it would do on this kind of team. There's a reason I've considered it for my team, though I've not actually used it there. This opponent also has a Kingambit, along with Floette, Aerodactyl, Wash Rotom, Sinistcha, and Charizard. Probably Mega Charizard Y. Although, as we'll see later in this video, not necessarily. Got a lot of threats into Mega Gengar, but they also have... well, they have Floette, but I can't Sludge Bomb it. But I can, like, Perish Trap it, probably. But I'm hesitant to lead Gengar and Incineroar because of their Kingambit. I could try Gengar Komodo with Incineroar in the back. Again, stick to what's kind of familiar to me. And then I think Sneasler is pretty good here. Kingambit could be good here as well because it's just so strong, but I think this is alright. Double fighting is interesting, but it is strong into some of the top threats right now, including Kingambit and somebody else who's coming up on the next team. Might be, maybe not a top threat, but somebody noteworthy right now. Man, Clangorous Soul feels pretty free here. But I have to keep in mind that they have a Floette. I kind of want to Mega Evolve Gengar and Shadow Ball Sinistcha, but I think I'm better off protecting it from something like Para from Rotom, so I'm going to Mega Evolve and Protect, but I will click Clangorous Soul. If they're going to let me have it that easily, I might as well try to take advantage. Rotom went for Volt Switch. It might be Scarfed. Double into Gengar. I mean, I think I'm okay to Shadow Ball and Clanging Scales here, right? Or I could go Incineroar. Let's preserve Gengar. Let's go Incineroar and Clanging Scales. So they will get to Volt Switch out here. Who's coming in? Floette? If it's Floette, that's not great for me. It's Kingambit. Okay. That's a little bit better for me. A little bit. They get Trick Room up. Which is kind of annoying, but this turn at least I can fake out Kingambit and Clanging Scales. I'm Clanging Scales Zing again to get rid of the Sinistcha. Because otherwise Rage Powder is an issue, because this is Soundproof Komodo, not Overcoat. Of course, I am lowering Komodo's defense as I do this, but they let me get the fake out. I guess I was actually fine to Aura Sphere Kingambit there, but oh well. Rotom is back. It might be Scarf Rotom from the way it's played so far, so I'm down to try just protect Komodo and Flare Blitz Kingambit. It might not be Scarf Rotom, but we'll see. Kingambit goes first, but the Iron Head goes into Protect, and then I do knock it out with a Flare Blitz. Okay, good. And then they Hydro Pump into my Pasho Berry. Now Floette's here. Which is a problem because I just protected Komodo. Komodo is so good into Rotom and Sinistcha, I think I should probably preserve it. Actually, Gengar and Sneasler win anyway. I'll click Flare Blitz into Floette. I'll go for a double Protect on Komodo just to buy some time. Get out of the Trick Room. I don't get it. That's fine, probably. Flare Blitz is half. And yes, they take out both of my Pokemon here, but it's the second last turn of Trick Room. Now I get Gengar and Sneasler, and I can just protect both of them. Or I can fake out Floette and Shadow Ball Rotom. I actually think that's a bit better here. Take a little bit more initiative. Especially if it might be Scarf Rotom. Okay, Floette protects. It is Scarf Rotom. No other way Gengar moves before it in Trick Room. And now they've got Sinistcha and Floette left, but I'll Shadow Ball Sinistcha. Dark Claw Floette. They Rage Powder, but Shadow Ball comes out first. Sinistcha's gone. And Dark Claw gets the KO on Floette. Alright, after a rough start, I have pulled it to 2-2. Gonna go at least 2 more games with this team. And the first opponent of those at least 2 more games has Alolan Ninetales, Meowscarada, Arcanine, Primarina, Delphox, and Lucario. So, could be Mega Delphox, could be Mega Lucario. Could see either, could see both. Will only see 1 in this game, of course. Maximum 1, could even see 0. I have been doing better once I've focused more on the Gengar and less on the Floette. These are kind of the 2 main Megas I've used in this format, but Gengar much more recently. They have 2 fairies, so don't love Komodo that much into that. I could do Gengar Sneasler lead again. That might not be bad, depending on what they lead with. Incineroar in the back, and honestly, Floette might be worth it into this team. Anyway. Kingambit's not crazy good here. Can Sucker Punch Delphox, though, but I have other Delphox answers already. I'm going to bring... I'm second guessing. I got a lot of Kingambit answers. I'm going to bring Floette and probably not Mega Evolve it and hope that's okay. Like, I'm almost certainly Mega Evolving Gengar early. Ninetales Meowscarada is the lead, so let's Mega Protect. I kind of wanted to switch to Incineroar, but it's good to get Gengar transformed early. And I'll fake out the Ninetales because I'm less worried about Meowscarada doing something to Sneasler specifically. Ninetales could click like Icy Wind or Aurora Veil would probably be a bigger issue, actually. It's a knockoff on the Meowscarada, so it turns into a Dark type as long as it remains on the field here. Now I'll switch Gengar out to Incineroar. And let's close combat the Meowscarada. As much as I'd like to hit Ninetales with a Dire Claw here, getting my Unburden is probably decent. I mean, if they have Arcanine in the back, maybe I don't want to be doing this so early because Sneasler can get intimidated. But Meowscarada is a problem Pokemon. It's very strong. And it's not carrying a Focus Sash on this team, so now it's gone. Arcanine could be an issue for sure from here. And they do bring it in next. I do have my Unburden, though. So honestly, let's just fake out and close combat Arcanine. I'm going to lose Sneasler to a Blizzard now. Maybe I should have... yeah, I should probably have faked out Ninetales. Okay, but they Aurora Veil, so I actually don't lose Sneasler to a Blizzard here. Lucario is in. I'll click Parting Shot into that. Be nice if I actually get to execute it. And let's go for close combat as well. They protect it. Thought about Dire Clawing Ninetales there. But Lucario is definitely the bigger threat. I lose Sneasler now to a Blizzard. Don't get Incineroar off the field. It would have been great to get Incineroar off the field there, because actually now... I'm going to get Incineroar off the field like this, because I'm down to try a Perish Song endgame, because I have more Pokemon than them. I don't know if it'll work. But I'm just going to switch to Floette and Perish Song. And the point of getting Incineroar off the field, of course, is Ninetales is not an offensive threat to it. So this should actually work, because as soon as Incineroar comes back in, I can fake out Lucario and then protect. And that's 2 free turns right there, practically, because I don't think Ninetales is about to one-shot Incineroar. Okay, I didn't anticipate Lucario having Earthquake. That gets a lot of damage on both my Pokemon, but fortunately for me, it doesn't knock either one out. I can protect both now. And that should guarantee the game, right? Because I think Incineroar always gets through 2 turns. So honestly, I didn't even really have to protect here. I think the game is already guaranteed before these protects. Good to be a little safer about it. I mean, actually, this means that I can bring Incineroar in next turn and just protect and not even bother with the fake out. And if there's like a Moonblast crit coming out from Ninetales, I get to avoid that all the same. Maybe I should have disabled Lucario, but okay. Doubling it here actually is probably fine. Now the Earthquake comes out next. Floette survives, though. I'm about to lose Floette to my own Light of Ruin. And actually, we end up with an Incineroar Ninetales 1v1. There's no snow. I could just Flare Blitz, but there's no reason to do that because it's the last turn of the Perish counter, so I don't even have to protect Incineroar. I just fake out here and win. GG. 3-2. Solid comeback after losing the first 2 games. And time for at least one more. Hopefully only one more before we move on to the next team. Charizard, Venusaur. It's my draft league team, except the rest of it isn't. Sneasler, Melodic, Garchomp, and Incineroar. I wish I had all this in the VGC area draft. How do I beat Charizard, Venusaur? Komodo is good into this team, because I don't have any fairies. And they have a bunch of stuff that Komodo resists. Obviously, Garchomp is kind of threatening. Floette's probably my best Garchomp answer. Sneasler can help as well by outspeeding and close combating. And Gengar can also do that. I don't know which Mega I want is the main thing. Incineroar is really good here, except into Melodic and to a lesser extent Sneasler, but Incineroar is excellent into the rest of their team. Let's stick with what I know. Let's do Gengar. Let's do Gengar, Sneasler, Komodo, Incineroar. I'll bring the Komodo, but in the back. They just lead Charizard, Venusaur. Go figure. I mean, I make fun, but what do I do here? Probably just switch Sneasler out to Incineroar. Let's see what that gets me. Okay, there's their Sun, their Chlorophyll, Sleep Powder into Incineroar. Not really surprising. I will get a chance to get rid of at least the first Sleep turn here. But the Sleep Powder Venusaur is just a giant threat to like run away with this game, right? Honestly, I think I need them to miss. And I'm not sure I'm that lucky. Like, what can I do? I can switch to Komodo. I do have Fake Out Pressure this turn. I should do something with that. But I don't know what. Oh wait, I don't have Fake Out Pressure because Incineroar has to stay asleep this turn. Never mind. Now I got 2 Pokemon sleeping. Yeah, this Venusaur is pretty hard for me to deal with, admittedly. I'll click a Flare Blitz into it here. Does Charizard have coverage for Komodo? It could. Could have Air Slash. But I think a lot of them don't these days. Or it could have Dragon Pulse, but I think that's even less likely. If it's Focus Sash Venusaur, then even this Flare Blitz won't save me. But let's see. Well, it also can do that. Okay. It's Weather Ball into Komodo, does a lot of damage. Honestly, when I go for Protect here, and I'm actually going to go for Parting Shot into Charizard this time. And part of the idea here is we're coming up on the end of their Sun turns. And maybe there's something I can do when Venusaur is slow again. Incineroar, I think, is guaranteed to wake up now with the sleep change in Champions. Komodo is not guaranteed to wake up. I hope it does. It doesn't. It drops to a Sludge Bomb. Okay. But I don't know what they were covering for with that Solar Beam. It crits me. But, oh well. But now I think I go Gengar. And I think I go right back to Incineroar. And I think I just protect both to get out of the sun. I'm going for that Flare Blitz into Venusaur. I need damage eventually. Right? Okay, they finally miss a Sleep Powder. So my risk there kind of pays off. It is Sash Venusaur. I'm not surprised. But I've lost so much of my stuff in this game. For what? Parting Shot Charizard again in Shadow Ball. Venusaur. I'd love to knock out Charizard. Oh, the burn on Gengar is so bad. Because I might have to do some Perish stuff in this game. But it's a lot harder with the Gengar taking passive damage. And then they get Melodic in. Gengar is not in range of Heat Wave, but with the burn damage, it's just not going to last long enough. So oh, you know what I can do? I can fake out... I don't think it's worth it. I was going to say fake out Melodic and disable Charizard. I just need Melodic to not do big damage here. That's what it comes down to. I don't think it's worth it because then how do I stop Melodic from doing something the next turn? I don't. Okay. I'm going to get Sneasler off the field here because I might need that to win the game. I'm protecting Gengar. I'm giving competitive to Melodic, which I didn't think about, but honestly, I don't know how much difference it makes at this point. The Ice Beam goes into Gengar. That's good. Now I can fake out Melodic and disable Charizard. That stops a Heat Wave. Solar Beam takes 2 turns now. Gengar is immune to Weather Ball because the sun isn't up. So that'll get Gengar through this turn for sure. In fact, they did just go for another Heat Wave, so there's no damage on anything. Question is what they have in the back. I mean, Sneasler's probably my best win con anyway. If they knock out Sneasler, what I'm thinking about here is, do I let Gengar go down? It depends so much on what they have in the back. I'm going to switch to Sneasler and hope that it survives this turn. I'm going to chicken out of sacking Gengar, but sacking Gengar was... There's a good chance with the right move. I'm actually fine as they don't attack that slot for some reason. So I got to Perish Trap both their Pokemon, and I didn't lose anything in the process. Kind of amazing that I pulled that one off. And their last Mon is... Also, shout out to Incineroar hanging around at 1%. One of the reasons it's the GOAT is that it's just so good at doing that. On a Parting Shot... Yeah, Sneasler just came in, right? I'm going to Parting Shot and fake out their Sneasler. They've DC'd. That feels like it might be intentional. But we'll see. Parting Shot. That way I preserve Incineroar, so I can come in and get fake out pressure again, potentially. Unless they fake out my Incineroar, and theirs comes out first. That's possible. Or they protect. But there's not really much reason not to make this play, I think. And I don't think they're coming back. I think they disconnected intentionally. But they have 10 seconds to prove me wrong. Less now, of course. Alright, perfect. So, much like the Toronto Raptors against the Milwaukee Bucks in the Eastern Conference Final 2019, we lose the first 2 games, but come storming back and take the series 4-2. But, of course, that's not the end. It's the season finale, and I have 5 teams. This next one I wanted to check out because of a couple things. Number one, so there's something old here and there's something new here. Number one, I've been very curious about the duo of Froslass and Kingambit. My Floette team in the Grand Champions Festival had a terrible time in that matchup because Froslass, Mega Froslass specifically, and Kingambit tend to cover each other's weaknesses extremely well, and that's very hard to deal with. But second, Duskform Lycanroc had a great event in Turin. I was looking through the high end of the standings throughout the weekend, and it kept showing up at or near the top. I think its highest placement was like 9th in the end, and I think that's this team here. But there was a stretch where it was on top of the standings, and it looked like it might win the whole event. And it makes a lot of sense. Mega Charizard Y has been the best Mega in Champions so far, and so it's had a giant target on its back all through the format, but it's been winning anyway. So then it continues to have the target on its back. You can't sleep on it when it wins most of the big tournaments. And Duskform Lycanroc is surely one of the best answers to Mega Charizard Y. Not only does it get Stab, Rock Slide with decent speed, but it also, if the speed is not enough, your opponent's in Tailwind or something, it has that priority with Accelerock, which is even powered up by Tough Claws. And actually, I can see it doing a lot to some of Mega Charizard Y's partners these days as well. Like Accelerock gives you some cover against Charizard and Tailwind, also against Aerodactyl. Close Combat for the coverage move gives you something to hit Kingambit. So Duskform Lycanroc makes a lot of sense to me as a strong answer to some of the best teams in the format so far. And sure enough, although it didn't win Turin, it had a very good event overall in Turin. Grouping that with Froslass and Kingambit, two Pokemon that are very threatened by Charizard, but can deal with a lot of the format between the two of them. Outside of Charizard, makes a lot of sense to me. The rest of the team is another pretty typical Sneasler, this one opting to hit harder with Gunk Shot instead of Dire Claw, which is interesting. I wonder exactly what that's for. Maybe to hit fairies, because this Kingambit has no Iron Head, so it's a little bit fairy vulnerable. Dire Claw, very strong move, but doesn't hit as hard as Gunk Shot. Gunk Shot, of course, less chance for status, fewer status options, and a higher chance to miss, so kind of higher risk, higher reward there. We got a Basculegion, this one with the Citrus Berry. I'm more used to Basculegion to boost their speed in some way, but I've given this a fairly bulky EV spread as well to try to make the most of that, and then it also is supported by Mega Scovillain. So there is that second Mega option. I could see Scovillain being pretty strong into some teams where Froslass doesn't do so well. If I run into another Corviknight, Scovillain's probably my best answer to that, but my guess is with this team, Froslass is the main Mega, and yeah, Scovillain is here for certain tough matchups. We'll see if I run into one of those. That's what I think is probably going on. But I mean, I want to try Froslass Kingambit. I have wanted to for a while, but I also want to try out this Lycanroc for sure. I get immediately Gengar Perish Song, the stuff I was just using, but a different version of it. But Gengar Perish Song for sure. In my first game here, I can take away the Rain with Froslass. Froslass can also switch out of the Perish Trap, as can Basculegion. So having two Ghost types might be nice here. Neither one's great into Archaludon. I mean, Froslass is alright into Archaludon. Froslass is one of my better Archaludon answers, actually, but I think I probably have to bring Sneasler to help me cover Archaludon, and also Incineroar. So I think I bring those three. And then probably just Kingambit. Like, I just do the Froslass Kingambit lead that gave me so much trouble a while back and see what that gets me. Gengar can't very comfortably trap Kingambit either because it's so threatened by damage. So I think that's an okay lead, and I'll bring Sneasler and Basculegion in the back. Hopefully I'll run into a Charizard to hit with his Lycanroc. Okay, they lead Sableye or Chaladon. Oh yeah, they do also have that mode, don't they? And they can click Rain Dance and take away my Snow immediately. My opponent asking why I'm called Slowpoke Well. That is a long story. Maybe I'll answer that in a little bit. Are they going to click Rain Dance turn 1? I think the fact that they can means I have to take it seriously. So I'm going to switch Froslass out here. Okay, they light screened. So I thought about going for my Aurora Veil there. I don't think I said it out loud. I was being pulled in a few different directions by the chat and the gameplay. But I didn't go for Aurora Veil because I thought they might just, you know, Rain Dance immediately. Anyway, I want to get rid of this Sableye. And I guess I'll just close combat or Chowdon as well. They could quash me. Okay, they protect our Chowdon. They do get their Rain Dance. But yeah, set up the Swords Dance to hit the Sableye hard. And our Chowdon as well. Now I can take weather control with the snow, unless they have Politoed in the back, which they might, but... Let's Kowtow Cleave Sinistcha here and protect Sneasler, because I would really like to get a close combat into our Chowdon. It's going to be another Aura Sphere or Chowdon. And so far just Electro Shot. They probably don't have Aura Sphere. Probably don't have room for it. Colbur Berry Sinistcha. Makes sense. That's what I've been running. I'm going to go for a Gunk Shot. And Kowtow Cleave. This is terrible if I miss the Gunk Shot, but let's try. I land the Gunk Shot. I take out the Sinistcha. They get another Electro Shot here. But Kingambit survives. Good stat spread there, Kingambit. Get a bunch of damage with Kowtow Cleave. We do give him stamina, but that's okay. And now I can close combat or Chowdon, or Sucker Punch it, but close combat is pretty free here. Protect. Thought about Sucker Punching Politoed. Yeah, it's faster than Kingambit. Okay, I guess I should have Sucker Punched it, but now I can take away their Rain forever. Just click a Blizzard. The light screen is also gone. Let's close combat Politoed. I think I have enough damage into our Chowdon. Opponent says, "Welp, I think this is GG" in the chat. I'll say GG back. They were friendly. We'll see if they come up with something. Nope, they just went for a double protect. They don't get it. Blizzard takes out our Chowdon. Politoed does survive this turn, but what's it doing back to most of my team that I have left? It doesn't even KO Sableye or Sneasler with that Ice-type Weather Ball. And with the White Herb active, Sneasler gets to move first and get the last KO. Alright, yeah, Froslass and Kingambit, pretty strong duo, huh? But, gotta get a few more games with this team. Maybe I'll face a Charizard. No Charizard here. Actually, this looks like a terrible matchup for Lycanroc. I don't think I bring Lycanroc to this one either. Kind of looks like a sand team without sand, which is interesting. But yeah, getting my Snow against this is very strong. They do have two Dark types, but one of them is Hydreigon, so I can Blizzard that pretty smoothly. I have to be alert to Wide Guard on Gallade, and obviously alert to Incineroar in general. Yeah, Gallade is a bit of a problem for a Froslass Kingambit lead, although I can Shadow Ball it. But that depends on the offensive pressure that I'm facing. I am just going to lead Froslass and Kingambit again. What a good lead. I'll bring Basculegion. Basculegion looks super strong to most of their team. And I think I'll just bring Sneasler. So they lead Excadrill, Gallade. So yeah, this is a bit of an issue because if I Shadow Ball Gallade here, which I'd like to do, I'm leaving Froslass vulnerable to damage from Excadrill. I could make them prove that they have Wide Guard. I could just Aurora Veil. Or I can switch to Basculegion. Honestly, that feels not bad here. But then leaving Kingambit in against this Gallade is also a little bit questionable. I'm going to protect Kingambit, Mega Evolve Shadow Ball, and see what happens to me as a result of that choice. It's Mega Excadrill. Oh, they protected Gallade. They didn't Wide Guard, they just protected. Oh, so they just get a free shot at Froslass here. With high horsepower, not Iron Head. Okay, so Froslass survives that. I'll switch Basculegion into this slot, and I will just throw off a Blizzard. If they Wide Guard, good for them. They got me, but after that turn one, I think they probably don't have it. Aurora Veil might still be worthwhile, but I want damage. Oh, I want so much damage into this Hydreigon. Let's go. I did a lot to Excadrill. Knocks Hydreigon down to a Focus Sash. They Earthquake, so they brought in their ground immunity so they could Earthquake freely. I get that. They do take out Froslass with that, but I get Sneasler now. Hydreigon's at 1 HP. Let's just click my priority moves here. This is a slower Basculegion than I'm used to, so I'm a little bit nervous about Wave Crash in this position. Okay. Okay. Alright. Well, okay, it doesn't matter. They protect. Okay, Okay, Sinister Rage Powder is a big problem here, actually. Big problem. If they protect an Earthquake, then I kind of just lose to that, but let's see. I'm going Kingambit. Why am I going Kingambit? I don't think I should do that, actually. Let's just protect Sneasler. Yeah, there's the Rage Powder. It is just Earthquake. It's not Protect Earthquake, it's Rage Powder Earthquake, so they get some damage on their own Sinistcha. And I knock that out. But it's the only KO I've taken so far. That might be a bit too slow. But Hydreigon's at 1 HP. Excadrill's still kind of low. Gallade could be a giant threat still. But let's see. There's Gallade. Gallade's not that fast. But it might be faster than this Basculegion. I'm down to find out. I'm just going to click my super effective big damage moves and hope for the best. Gallade might be guaranteed faster than Basculegion, actually. Well, they switch it out, so it doesn't matter. That paid off somehow. Get 2 KOs there. And I get my Unburden. And now, giant threat though Gallade is, I have so many giant threats into it. I hope I land my Gunk Shot. I do. It KOs. Nice. Alright, that's 2-0 I think with this team. On to the next game. This is going to be a longer video than I realized, but what can you do? It's the season finale. It deserves to be long. Okay. Hisuian Zoroark, Ditto, Sneasler, Hisuian Samurott, Scovillain, and Sylveon. Okay, Ditto's interesting. It can copy Swords Dance boosts on Kingambit, which otherwise, Kingambit doesn't set up that freely into this team. Never mind. Actually, Kingambit's under a lot of pressure from like their whole team. Never mind, Kingambit's actually not even that good here. I don't hate my own Mega Scovillain into this matchup, actually. But no Mega bringing Mega Scovillain means I can't bring Mega Froslass, so that's the big question. Is it worth that? And it might not be, especially when they have their own Scovillain, and I have only physical offense, pretty much, except Froslass. So, how do I beat that? Froslass is not that good into... I mean, I can Blizzard stuff. I think this might be a Scovillain game, but I'm going to make it a Froslass game anyway, because, I don't know. I'll bring Kingambit anyway, because it's like my best answer to Ditto turned into Froslass. Actually, no. Froslass, Lycanroc, Basculegion, Sneasler. Let's get Lycanroc into a game finally, even though I haven't run into a Charizard. They laid Scovillain, Sneasler. Of course, it's possible that one of them is Zoroark. I'm just going to Mega Evolve Blizzard, find out. And protect Lycanroc. Since I only brought physical attackers except Froslass, I probably am going to have to let somebody get burned. They Mega Evolve their Scovillain, so it's confirmed real. They detect their Sneasler. I think that means that's real too. Oh, just out of range of that Blizzard. And they KO me back. So yeah, somebody's going to have to get burned here. Honestly, I think it might as well be Lycanroc. So I'm going to do... The problem with this is if they just KO Lycanroc. Oh no, I have the Sash. They can't before it moves. Oh, it is Zoroark. I didn't know that got detect. Okay. Missing the Rock Slide into Scovillain is really bad though. But it's okay if I take it out with the next one. Nope, can't use Last Respects on Hisuian Zoroark. That doesn't work. It's okay if this Rock Slide takes out Scovillain. It gets 2 KOs, actually. That's nice. That saves Basculegion from the Wave Crash recoil. So they have Sneasler in the back, and what else? Lycanroc getting burned there isn't ideal, but I think it was the best of a bad set of options. Okay, this duo is actually really hard for me to deal with. I'm going to switch Sneasler in for Basculegion here and protect Lycanroc. I don't think they have a great threat to knock out Sneasler immediately. They go for Sucker Punch. And then they close combat my Protect, so they don't do any damage this turn. I'm going to go straight for close combat into their Samurott. And Accelerock Sneasler just to get some damage on that. They Protect, okay. They Protect both, okay. But I can make the same play again now. Or I can Accelerock Samurott. But I think Samurott's going to drop to my close combat anyway, right? So let's Accelerock Sneasler. 12% with a burn, and it's resisted. Not bad. It's Sash Samurott. I should have Accelerocked it. Yeah, we're probably both getting our white herbs here. Yeah, I'd like to... They miss a Ceaseless Edge. Okay, some good luck for me there. I'd like to just Aqua Jet the Samurott out of here, but... They have Sucker Punch. So I won't. Protect. That's annoying. Dark Claw, no status, okay. I'm clicking Close Combat even though it lowers my defense because I click Protect there for the double to get around Sucker Punch. I'm clicking Close Combat so that I don't risk missing a Gunk Shot. And yeah, that Protect was intentional. It was to not get Basculegion hit by Sucker Punch. Now I'll Protect Sneasler and Wave Crash. Or their Sneasler. They Protect. Now Close Combat and Wave Crash. And I mean, Aqua Jet should guarantee this even if Wave Crash doesn't KO. Unless the recoil is too much. Nah, Wave Crash KOs and we're fine. 20% recoil, no big deal. I think that's 3-0 with this team. So let's see if I can get a sweep, and also let's see if I can finally face a Charizard. But Lycanroc put in work in this game even without facing a Charizard. No Charizard, but they do have Delphox and Torkoal, and their only rock resist is Sneasler. I think this is still a good Lycanroc matchup. I have to be careful because I can't Accelerock in front of Farigiraf, and Accelerock is my best answer to Delphox. What else? You know what I do have here is a pretty good way to deny their Trick Room, potentially. Because I have 2 Ghosts. They have ways they can play around this, but let's see if they do. If I leave my Ghosts, they can't Fake Out and Trick Room. They could switch Torkoal in and weaken my attacks. It's a strong enough option for them that maybe what I'm doing here isn't even good. But I want to try it. I think I'm way better off here if I deny their Trick Room, so I'll try. I'll see if I can do it. Okay, Farigiraf, Sylveon. Interesting. Could go for Aurora Veil. But I think I'm committing to the bit, and I'm just doing Blizzard and Wave Crash into Farigiraf. Just trying to knock that out turn 1 if I can. Blizzard did half. That's pretty good. Wave Crash gets the KO. So if they went for a Trick Room game plan, they don't have Trick Room anymore. Take a lot of damage back, admittedly. Now it's Torkoal. I'll preserve Froslass so I can get the snow back. I would love to just switch Lycanroc in, but if both of their Pokemon had attacked, then Lycanroc would drop without getting a Rock Slide into Torkoal, which is not what I want. That's not what happened in the end, but that's why I made that play. I'll go straight for Gunk Shot into Sylveon. Switch to Froslass. If I land this Gunk Shot and get the KO, then they can never switch Torkoal out and get the Sun back. I'm playing in a risky, aggressive way here, but so far it's working. They protect Sylveon. Yeah. Now it blows up on me a bit as they take 2 KOs pretty freely. They can switch Torkoal out and get the Sun back if they want, but Lycanroc is kind of hard for them to deal with now. I'm going to Rock Slide, and I'm going to click Last Respects into Sylveon. Why no Dire Claw? IDK, it's not my team. This team got like 9th place in Turin though, so it's probably pretty good. They don't switch Torkoal out. They flinch, but also, yeah, they're not getting Weather Control back. And now Heracross is here, and I can pretty freely just Rock Slide and Last Respects that. Mega Heracross, super cool. I almost brought a Mega Heracross team for this video, but... Okay, I get the flinch again. I don't think it matters at this point. I almost, if I'd done a 6th team in this video, it would have been Mega Heracross. That was the last cut, but I didn't have room for it anymore. And there's still lots of cool stuff ahead as we're going to jump, after a quick sweep there, to team number 3. But yeah, Froslass and Kingambit, still a very strong duo. A lot of interesting pieces around them on that team. Now we have the other Charizard. So Mega Charizard Y has been the best Charizard. That's a funny slip. It has been the best Charizard in the format so far, but I meant the best Mega evolution. We're going to see if another contender for best Mega can emerge here. This team was used by Marcus Hamon. It made day 2 in Turin. All the teams in this video made day 2 in Turin. Why Gunk Shot instead of Dire Claw, I don't know, but the team made day 2 in Turin, so it's probably pretty good. And yeah, Marcus Hamon here used Mega Charizard X with Dragon Dance setup. Double Fake Out support from Incineroar and Sneasler. Sinistra with the Rage Powder and Hospitality. Another setup option with Calm Mind Floette. And then Kingambit, I'm sure, is here to patch up some matchups, cover some threats. But this team looks very much to me like choose your setup option, whichever one's better into the opposing team. Bring appropriate supports around it, and go. And so that's what I'm going to try to do. Hopefully with some fun Mega Charizard X gameplay. But, Mega Floette is fun too. Alright, it's rain again. This might even be the same opponent. I don't know. The team looks the same. I think the Pokemon are in a different order. Maybe. I'm not sure. I think they are. So... Oh no, that other opponent didn't have Sinistra. This is more committed to the Archaludon thing from the looks of it. Which is a bit of a problem. How do I beat Archaludon? I mean, maybe with Calm Mind Floette. But I have to remove the Sableye. Well, Floette can help with that too. Yeah, I think this is a Floette game instead of a Charizard game, although both of them are pretty interesting here. I also think I need Kingambit to beat Basculegion. That's probably a big part of why Kingambit is on this team. Charizard and Floette both have some trouble with endgame sweeper Basculegion without some serious support, so I think I have to bring Kingambit to this. I think it's Floette and a Fake Out user. I think it's Sneasler Floette. Floette can threaten Sableye, although it could have the Roselli Berry. But I think it's Sneasler Floette. Probably don't need Incineroar in this matchup. It might be good, but I'll bring Sinistra and Kingambit. I think that's a reasonable approach to this one. Archaludon Sableye, you don't say. I'm just going to Mega Evolve. Dazzling Gleam. I don't want to mess with Encore Disable stuff too much, so it's kind of tempting to try to go for my setup, but I don't think this is the time for it. I'm just going to go for Close Combat into Archaludon. I could Fake it out, but then that gives it a stamina boost. Okay, it protects. Fair enough. They Light Screen. If they have screens, they probably don't have Encore Disable. I get rid of the Roselli Berry there. I could try a Calm Mind here. I think I'd rather just go for damage. Here's their Rain Dance. Close Combat does so much. They never set Reflect. I used the Cybertron team for a little while, and it's a lot of fun, but the Sableye is asked to do a lot. And that's one thing that's a little bit of a relative weakness on the team. The Sableye has to do so much. I'm going to Dire Claw. I'm thinking about switching to Sinistra there. I'm actually just going to Dire Claw the nerd. Want to get rid of that Mon. Okay. Sneasler gets knocked down onto its Focus Sash by... I don't get the Dire Claw KO thanks to Sinistra coming in by that flip turn. But Floette's in a really good spot now. I've seen enough of the Sableye's moves. I know it doesn't have Encore Disable. I could Calm Mind. Also, Kingambit probably just wins the game now. Take out the Sneasler with, or the Sableye with another Dire Claw. They set Trick Room. But wait, isn't that bad for them? Their Basculegion is probably faster than this Floette, right? They probably think so too, because they forfeit. Alright, that was pretty smooth. Didn't get Charizard to that one, but that was more of a Floette game, and Floette was super hard for them to deal with. This could be a Charizard game. They probably have Charizard Y. Charizard X is kind of interesting, actually, because although it's the weaker Charizard in the format, it does match up well into Charizard Y. They also have Corviknight. This is definitely a Charizard game more than a Floette game. Charizard, Weavile, Sylveon, Garchomp. Weavile instead of Sneasler, interesting. Corviknight and Wash Rotom. So, I mean, I feel like Kingambit is largely for Basculegion on this team. Probably for some other things too, but I feel like in a matchup like this, the answer is Charizard, Incineroar, Sneasler, Sinistcha. Not necessarily in that order. But I think this time in that order. But I feel like those are the right 4 Pokemon for a lot of matchups with this team. I'm not saying Kingambit is only a Basculegion matchup piece, but Kingambit definitely feels less important here than in that last game. Intimidating Garchomp immediately is great. I think I can just Mega Evolve, Dragon Dance, Fake Out Garchomp, and my opponent's under a lot of pressure already. Mega Charizard Y doesn't tend to have good answers to these 2 Pokemon. So, I talked about how Lycanroc had a good event, probably because people were running it to beat the top Pokemon in the format, Mega Charizard Y, but this team also brings some interesting anti-meta answers to Mega Charizard Y. I guess that was a big part of the story of the tournament. I mean, obviously it was won by the Marco Silva Gengar stuff. So there are more storylines than just the one, but... And there are a lot of Mega Charizard Y near the top of the standings as well. But Mega Charizard Y and answers to Mega Charizard Y still definitely a key part of the storyline of the format, for sure. Faster Garchomp Scarf, maybe? Oh, but it doesn't do too much at -1, and I knock it out. Charizard takes a lot back, especially after the rough skin, but I clicked Parting Shot into their Charizard. It goes into Rotom instead. Now I can go Sinistcha and get some health back on Charizard. This is a really cool team. It's a little bit more straightforward than some of what I've featured, but... yeah, I mean... there's Flare Blitz to Sylveon here. And Rage Powder, why not? They could Electro Web my Charizard, but by the time they do that, like, where's their threat? Okay. Okay, they protect the Sylveon, fair enough. Will-O-Wisp. But what were they trying to hit with that? Charizard's immune anyway. Burning Sinistcha is not that big a deal. It actually would be kind of nice to still have Incineroar on the field. I tried to switch there, but I was too late to cancel. So I could click Helping Hand, but there's no need, as the Flare Blitz takes out Sylveon anyway. I mean, it's going to be very strong at +1. I think the best thing for me to do here is protect Charizard and pivot Sinistcha back in. Because Charizard's pretty low. I mean, I could probably win at this point anyway, but... this also uses the classic support duo of Incineroar Sinistcha, one of the early strong duos identified in this game, and it's had doubters at times, and I understand why. Sinistcha hasn't even felt that good to me sometimes, but this team definitely looks to me like it's set up to make the most of those 2 Pokemon. Is Flare Blitz going to be stronger than Dragon Claw into their Charizard because of the sun? That makes sense to me. I don't know if Sinistcha will help Charizard survive after this recoil, but I'm down to try. Ah, they protected. But their Hydro Pump is nerfed by the sun, and also Mega Charizard X is not weak to it, and also they missed. So, I mean, protect Sinistcha here. So I can Macho Gotcha their Rotom. Yeah, that just KOs. I had a feeling at +1 in Sun. Tough Claws, Mega Charizard X attack stat. Here, let's click a Flare Blitz into their Rotom too. And also Macho Gotcha. There's no need, the Flare Blitz just KOs. Alright, I don't have a lot of experience with Mega Charizard X, but it looks incredible on this team in this format at this moment. That's 2-0, I think. Let's get another one. Meganium, Pelipper, Melodic, or Chaladon, Raichu, Garchomp. So it's Rain. It's Meganium Rain. There's a part of me tempted to just throw Charizard at this. But I think against Rain, I bring Floette. I think that's the actual correct call here. I have to be a little more careful with Incineroar because of the Melodic. But, I mean, yeah, I think it's Floette, Sneasler, Incineroar, Sinistcha this time. This team is definitely more straightforward than some of the others I've tried, but it feels so good so far. Floette, Sneasler against Melodic Garchomp, so I do not give them free competitive, at least this turn. Mega Evolve right away. I think I can just Calm Mind. I'll fake out the Garchomp, because that could be running a threatening move, like an Iron Head or something. Okay, they protect. Is it just going to be raw Hypnosis from Melodic? That could be a problem. No, it's Icy Wind. Okay, makes sense. And this is not White Herb Sneasler, so I do get the speed drop on that. With that in mind, I'm going to Dazzling Gleam here and protect Sneasler, and I'm looking to get Sinistcha in soon, but I might as well let Floette actually take some damage before I take advantage of the Hospitality. But yeah, that looks very strong. I mean, Floette took like 40% from Earthquake. Garchomp's gone now anyway. But if there were another Earthquake coming out, I could just get Sinistcha in pretty safely. That was another quick one. 3-0. Let's see if I get the sweep with this team. This team is so cool. This is definitely one of my favorite Reg MA teams so far. After just 3 games, I'm already confident saying that. Alright, we got Aerodactyl, Hatterene, Kingambit, Sinistcha, Incineroar, Garchomp. This is an odd team. Aerodactyl is usually a Tailwind setter. But most of these Pokemon don't take that much advantage of Tailwind. Garchomp does. But it looks like it mostly wants to be a Sinistcha Trick Room team with Hatterene and Kingambit. But I guess Aerodactyl gives them an alternative mode. It's not the craziest thing in the world, and Aerodactyl Garchomp should be a pretty strong duo, good offensive coverage and stuff. And I'm a little bit more hesitant to bring Mega Charizard X against Aerodactyl, although I think this might be a Charizard game anyway. I don't know, I could bring either Mega to this one. Charizard's really good, except into Aerodactyl and to a lesser extent Garchomp. But then I think that might be what they lead. But then that lead also puts pressure on Floette, but Incineroar can intimidate and create openings for either one of my Megas. I'm going to bring Floette to this one. Because I think there's a good chance that's their lead. And if it's not, then Calm Mind Floette can help me get through Trick Room if they do a Trick Room game plan. So Floette and Incineroar, for sure. I still have ways to threaten Kingambit if I give it the Defiant right away. And then Sinistcha Sneasler, keep it pretty simple. Kingambit could be good in this matchup, but I ran out of time to think that through. Okay, I am giving them Defiant immediately. So I got the lead a little bit wrong. But even so... like if I just do this, and then I'm threatening Kingambit, I could Tailwind. It's Mega Aerodactyl, that's not surprising. That was the most likely Mega on this team. But it's a -1. It doesn't set Tailwind, so now I'm threatening a lot of damage into Kingambit, I think. I don't think I noticed it was Leftovers Incineroar until right now. Oh, they have Wide Guard. Okay. Alright, so I'm not threatening as much damage into Kingambit as I wanted. If they have Iron Head, I'm in trouble. And they do. Okay. Alright, I'm in trouble. I probably lose this game just off of that. I don't see really how I beat Mega Aerodactyl now. But I'll try. I can't set Trick Room against this team, I don't think, because they have better Trick Room Pokemon than I do. Okay, they don't let me have their Kingambit there. They miss a dual Wing Beat, so that gives me a little bit of a break. I miss Machagotcha back into Garchomp, but I hit Aerodactyl and burn it, which is way more important. Aerodactyl is the hardest Pokemon to beat. If they have Hatterene, then setting Trick Room is bad, but at this point, I'm willing to say they probably don't have Hatterene. I'm Parting Shot Garchomp here. If I get the move off, I might not, but this Incineroar doesn't have Protect, because this isn't a Perish Song team. Yeah, they just take Incineroar out with an Earthquake. Oh wait, Trick Room's bad because I have Sneasler in the back. But honestly, I think Sinistcha's the win con at this point. Okay, well I flinch anyway, so I don't have to worry about a badly chosen attack there. Instead, I have to worry about Sneasler just kind of being bad into both of these. I'll just protect Sneasler here in Machagotcha. That gets me a bit more damage on these Mons if Sinistcha doesn't flinch this time. Consume my Citrus Berry, so that's all the recovery I have outside of Machagotcha itself. And yeah, I need Sneasler to beat Kingambit, right? So I just better hope it... Nope, I want to click Close Combat. I better hope it gets through this turn. Which it doesn't, because that's Scarf Garchomp. Oh wait, I have the Sash still. But Aerodactyl can knock out Sneasler now. Or Rough Skin can. Rough Skin does. Okay, so I lose to Kingambit now, because it's Scarf Garchomp. I never scouted its speed before now. Okay, so I'm not getting the sweep with this team. It was a tricky matchup. But this team is still so cool. I'll just click Machagotcha until the game's over. I think I missed, yeah. Parting Shot. That makes sense. That's the optimal safe thing for them. They should be able to just knock out Sinistcha here anyway. Okay, 3-1. We're getting at least one more game with this team. Maybe I'll get another one with Charizard. Hisuian Samurott, not fooling me with that shiny coloring. Sylveon, Scizor, Garchomp, Arcanine, Hisuian form also, and Whimsicott. This could be a Charizard game. The Hisuian Arcanine is bad into... Well, here's the thing. Both of my Megas. And by bad into them, I mean it's good into them. They're bad into it. The Scizor suggests to me a Charizard game, but the Samurott suggests to me a Sylveon game, so how do I split the difference there? Incineroar is good into Scizor, Sneasler is good into Samurott. I don't know, I have options for both modes. Either one seems alright. So I'll bring Charizard, because Charizard's cool. I think leading Incineroar is really strong. Most of their team doesn't want to get intimidated. I don't think I need Kingambit for this one. It's not even very good here, so let's do this. Honestly, this might be a matchup where there's a case for bringing Floette without Mega Evolving it, but I don't trust that much. I do think the Sneasler is not as important as I've been acting like it is. I think double Fake Out is nice, but it's not... I mean, yeah, I've been treating it like it's necessary to this team's basic functioning, and I think that's probably not quite correct. So I think the team's a little bit more flexible than I've been saying. Okay, I just went for the Flare Blitz on Arcanine right there. It's not Intimidate Arcanine. I just went for the Flare Blitz on Whimsicott right there, but yeah, they're not just letting me have that. Fair enough. I can go Sneasler now, though, and threaten Arcanine with that. Then Sneasler feels pretty good here. Unless it gets knocked out switching in. But no, they go for Head Smash into Charizard. And Hyper Voice. Now I can... Well, okay, they can Extreme Speed Sneasler, but they can't do that and Head Smash Charizard. So I think Dragon Dance in close combat here is okay. They protect Sylveon. They do Extreme Speed Sneasler and knock it out. But yeah, Sneasler putting out pressure forced them to do that instead of something else. Now I get Incineroar. I can Intimidate Arcanine. I do still have to be careful because... I'm going to Dreadclaw Arcanine. I have to be careful because... Oh, I don't know if I can lock it to Dragonclaw either, because the Whimsicott could come in and Encore me. I have to be careful because of Flare Blitz Recoil. I'm going to do it anyway. But yeah, it is possible that this messes me up. Oh, it's Scizor. Okay, well at least I'm not going to be locked into the Dragonclaw. That still does quite a bit at +1. Now I should be able to Flare Blitz Sylveon. If Arcanine comes in, so be it. We've seen by this point the Mega Charizard X hits crazy hard anyway. I'll just double Flare Blitz this turn. They protect Scizor. I take out Sylveon. Still have to be a bit careful about the Arcanine. I think that's probably coming back in right now. No, it's Whimsicott. Okay. Let's Flare Blitz that and switch to Sinistcha so that Charizard doesn't take too much damage. Could be Sash Whimsicott on this team. I think it probably is. But Scizor shouldn't be threatening big damage to Charizard. They probably brought Scizor to cover for the Floette mode. So that's another nice thing about this team. It kind of warped their decision at preview. I could still lose to Arcanine though, I think. Scizor will Mega Evolve. They set Tailwind. They Bullet Punch Charizard, the crit. It's a bit awkward. It is Sash Whimsicott. How much recoil am I taking? Too much. So much recoil. Yeah, actually, I'm not sure how I win this now, but I think there must be a way. I think it involves... I might get Encore locked into Protect here, but unfortunately I think it involves going straight back to Sinistcha immediately after this turn. I might still lose to Arcanine. That was a crit Bullet Punch into Charizard. Charizard might survive a non-crit. I think I have to bet on that. And take out the Whimsicott. The Encore pressure is driving me crazy here. Okay. That actually works. Charizard does survive a non-crit Bullet Punch. Now I Protect. This also gets me through the last turn of their Tailwind. I go Sinistcha for some recovery. Not a massive amount of recovery, but it's something. They Head Smash Sinistcha. Charizard's a +2/+2. When I outspeed that Arcanine for sure. I'm going to Dragon Claw it and Rage Powder. Take out the Arcanine. They can't just Extreme Speed Sinistcha. That wasn't an option for them. Now I beat Scizor with Rage Powder Flare Blitz. So that game got a little tricky at some points, but this team is just so cool. Both Pokemon I think will faint here. Nope, Charizard survives the recoil, but also I had Incineroar in the back still. And yeah, my rating has gotten higher than it has before on the MA Showdown ladder. This team is nuts. I could have just featured this team and been happy with the video. But I'm going to take a break. This is going to be a long one. I'm getting pretty worn out, and this is a good note to end on for me for right now, but I will be back very soon because there are still 2 more teams to feature in this 5-part, 5-in-1 season finale. Okay, I don't know if I'm going to find anything as fun and cool as that last team, but this next one might be able to compete because, you know, I'm a big Serperior fan, and apparently Jamie Boyd is too. I've seen him use Serperior at a few tournaments, going back to Scarlet and Violet, maybe longer, but I don't know. I might not have noticed before, but he's still using it in Regulation MA and Pokemon Champions. And this is an interesting team. It's got a few unusual Pokemon in Serperior, Ceruledge, and Weirdeer. Ceruledge is probably the most normal of those 3. I mean, it has a pretty clear niche in the format, especially with Flash Fire being able to wall a lot of Mega Charizard Y. And Bulk Up able to protect it against a lot of physical damage in this format. But this is an interesting team to me because it looks like it actually relies quite a bit on Screen's Serperior. Serperior is running Light Screen and Reflect. It also has Glare to paralyze opponents. But mostly it's a fast screen setter on this team, and a lot of the choices on this team, judging by the natures of these Pokemon, give up bulk in order to rely on screens to get their setup instead and hit harder. So like Ceruledge, I think, is running an Adamant nature on this team. That's the kind of thing that I mean. It looks like a lot of these Pokemon are very bulky if screens are up, and so the screens could be pretty valuable. So Serperior, I think, will have a significant role here. Otherwise, we got Coil, Hypnosis, Melodic, with Life Dew as well, so it's able to give some recovery to its teammates and itself, sit on the field for a long time. Ceruledge has no built-in recovery, but with screens and with Life Dew support from Melodic, it can put in some work. We got another Calm Mind Mega Floette here. We got Clangorous Soul, Komodo. No leftovers this time because Melodic has leftovers, so a lot of bulky setup options enabled by those screens. And then Weirdeer also able to support its teammates with Intimidate, stopping a lot of the physical damage in this format, or rather weakening it. And Weirdeer also can set Trick Room for some slower teammates like Ceruledge and Melodic. And it has the combination of Gravity and Hypnosis. This will also make Hypnosis from Melodic more accurate. Gravity will make Leaf Storm and Glare from Serperior more accurate if you want to go that route. You have a couple different speed control options with the Glare and the Trick Room. But yeah, putting opponents to sleep, setting up screens, and setting up your setup seems to be what this team does. But obviously this one grabbed my attention mainly for Serperior. I had a lot of fun using Serperior in Regulation H in Scarlet and Violet. Let's see now what it can do in Pokemon Champions. So first opponent has Blastoise, Komodo, Ditto, Galarian, Slowbro, Sinistcha, and Talonflame. That's a pretty unusual Tail Room team. But yeah, they have strong Trick Room options with Blastoise, as well as Slowbro and Sinistcha for the setters, but they also can do Tailwind stuff with Talonflame, and Ditto is able to transform into any kind of threat that I throw at them, so Ditto is a very strong Pokemon against setup. That may be a bit of an issue. Another issue is they have that Talonflame. I kind of want to lead Serperior. This team doesn't have a Flying Resist. So what do I switch in if they lead Talonflame against Serperior? Probably Weirdeer. So with that in mind, I could even lead Serperior Weirdeer, actually. Let's try that. And Weirdeer can also mess with my opponent's Trick Room. And then what do I want to set up in this game? Melodic could be pretty good, but I need answers to Komodo, so let's bring Floette as well. Let's bring Melodic and Floette. So it's Blastoise, Slowbro. They probably want to just fake out set Trick Room. With that in mind, I'm down to click Leaf Storm into Blastoise and Trick Room with Weird Ear. Boyd's team, they say in the chat, it certainly is. I'm not confident that I know how to use it well. I probably don't. But okay, they get Quick Draw right away, and it's just Shell Sidearm. They don't go for Trick Room, so I've just set Trick Room up for them. Just played perfectly into their hands. Well, like I said, I don't think I know how to use this team very well right away. I think a rough game to start is something we could have reasonably expected here. I'll go for Gravity and Hypnosis into Blastoise, actually, if I can get that, but I probably can't. I get Quick Draw again. That's twice in a row. The Shell Sidearm comes out. I mean, Slowbro's the slowest Pokemon here anyway. I do get Blastoise asleep before it can do anything this turn, and now I can start to try to set up with Melodic. I'll just click Hypnosis into Slowbro. I feel like Melodic and Weird Ear might actually be one of the main engines of this team. They get a Shell Sidearm, no Quick Draw this time, because it didn't really matter at this point. Slowbro has the advantage anyway, being so slow. I'll click Life Dew here, I think, and start clicking Psy Shield Bash into Slowbro. This Weird Ear is adamant, so I figured it wanted a good amount of attack investment, and I have that. Psy Shield Bash also boosting defense is something I kind of forgot about, but yeah. That's a plus as well, but then the Blastoise wakes up and knocks out Weird Ear. One turn left for Trick Room. I think here I will protect Floette. And just go for another Hypnosis into Blastoise. Might as well Mega Evolve Floette. There's not really any reason not to. Slowbro has a chance to stay asleep this turn. I'm actually going to go for a Calm Mind with Floette right now. Okay, Slowbro stays asleep. Quick Draw actually could really mess me up because Slowbro's the slowest Pokemon now. There's no Trick Room. I'll just click Muddy Water here and protect Floette. I'm looking to go for Hypnosis into Slowbro next turn. But that's where Quick Draw could mess me up. But we'll see. Blastoise wakes up. Goes for Water Pulse into Floette, but I protected. Get the accuracy drops into both targets. That's funny. Avoid a Shell Sidearm there. Actually, Muddy Water Dazzling Gleam should just knock out Slowbro here. So let's do that instead of Hypnosis. Take the damage. Dazzling Gleam crits it. So Hypnosis into Blastoise would have been nice, but with the accuracy drop, they missed their Water Pulse into Floette. Very, very lucky game for me so far. May yet recover from not really understanding how to use this team. And they forfeit, so yeah, I do recover. 1-0 start. Okay. Well, what's next? That was pretty strange. But yeah, the Melodic is actually super strong on this team with all the supports that it has to mitigate damage, so I understand the team a little bit better already, even though that game was kind of rough and I got bailed out by luck. Melodic looks really good into this team as well. Looks really good into this team. Probably want to lead with it. Weird Ear's good for the Intimidate, except into Corviknight. Serperior is kind of hard for them to deal with, except with Incineroar, but if they lead Incineroar, if I lead Melodic and Serperior, hey, I'm back in Reg H. I'm using my 2025 Toronto Regionals team, leading Serperior and Melodic. The version I had was a pretty bad lead, actually. Double Snake is looking a lot better here, because if they lead Incineroar to fake out Serperior, they give me competitive. I think I can bring Floette to this one. But I need to make sure I have enough answers to Corviknight, so I'll bring Ceruledge last. It's Tyranitar and Incineroar, so they can fake out Serperior turn 1, but they also give me competitive immediately. The Serperior doesn't have Protect. It might actually be nice to have Komodo in the back here, because that's something I could switch in on this lead. And then I could have... and then I could beat Corviknight with Melodic, and I don't need Ceruledge, but oh well. I'm just going to click Reflect. They might fake out Melodic because of the extra pressure it's putting out, so... They do, so Serperior will get a chance to execute its move here. And that Rock Slide's not doing too much after the Reflect. I understand now why Melodic has the leftovers. A lot of Pokemon on this team I think would love to have the leftovers, but Melodic might be the most important mon here. I'll Leaf Storm Tyranitar here, and I will just go for a Coil. They switch to Garchomp. Yeah, they haven't brought much special offense. I can go for my Light Screen now, but it didn't really feel like a big priority. But I think here I'll just Light Screen and Life Dew. Try to get Melodic nice and healthy. Then go Corviknight. Okay. Mega Garchomp. Makes sense. Something had to be... Well, nothing had to be the Mega. You can run no Mega. But it is going to be Garchomp here. I'll Leaf Storm Garchomp and actually Hypnosis Corviknight. Putting Corviknight to sleep and being able to isolate it by taking out its teammates seems like kind of a nice idea here. The Garchomp is still doing a lot of damage, but the Reflect is helping there. But Tailwind is a problem. I think I just let Serperior go down if that's what's going to happen. With a quick Life Dew. Tailwind is a big problem because the Garchomp can outspeed everything. But, okay, Serperior and Melodic both survive the Earthquake. I take out Garchomp with another Leaf Storm. Now I get a Life Dew. It's not a massive amount of recovery, but it's pretty valuable here. My Reflect is gone. I'll see if I can get it back. I don't have Protect on Melodic either, do I? Let's just keep clicking Life Dew, I guess. Okay, Serperior outspeeds Tyranitar even in the Tailwind. That's one thing that genuinely is really good about Serperior. It's very fast. It's faster than you might think if you're not familiar with its game. But I do lose it to a Brave Bird here. Maybe this Tyranitar is optimized to play in Trick Room with Farigiraf, but still. Big plus for Serperior there. Tailwind is over. I'll go Floette right now, because I want to threaten the Tyranitar. If they have Steel move on Corviknight, which they might not, I think that's okay, especially while I still have Reflect up for a few more turns. Ceruledge kind of just drops the Tyranitar. They at least force out a Protect on Tyranitar there, so that makes things a bit less threatening. Corviknight bulks up. Okay, maybe I want to put Corviknight back to sleep. That probably would have been better there. Yeah, I think that would have been the right idea. Let's do that now. Tyranitar takes a bunch of damage from Moonblast. They do get another bulk up. But then they take another nap. And now I think I'll just Moonblast Corviknight and Muddy Water. Try to break through it with special attacks. Tyranitar protects, fair enough. Corviknight survives at 1%. But I mean, this is super free Dazzling Gleam now, and I'll just click Life Dew with Melodic. Tyranitar goes for the double protect, doesn't get it, so Floette gets 2 KOs and gets nice and healthy with this Life Dew, and Incineroar is the only Pokemon my opponent has left. I don't think Ceruledge will be hitting the field in this game. Confirmed no, as my opponent forfeits. So I do think Kamoa would have been better in the back, but yeah, this Melodic is extremely strong on this team. I understand the team a lot better after just a couple games. That said, I've been leaning so much on Melodic that I don't know what I'm going to do into our Chaldon Rain. I don't know how I beat that with this team. Maybe with Kamoa? But that's kind of weak to Pelipper and Dragonite. I mean, Kamoa Floette. Maybe I can overwhelm the Archaludon. Light Screen could be pretty valuable to that end. Let's try Serperior Floette lead with Kamoa in the back, and maybe I still bring Melodic. One of the best things I have in Basculegion. Melodic is so good on this team. I think I still bring it, and I just try not to get it Electro Shot. Alright, so I'm going to Light Screen, Mega Evolve, and just Moonblast or Chaldon here. If it's Encore Disable Sableye, that could get a little dicey, but we'll see. Fake Out Sableye also could be tricky, but they can't usually afford to run Fake Out on these teams. Light Screen. Okay, that's probably a good sign. I set Reflect when I meant to set Light Screen. I just totally messed that up. Floette takes more damage than it should from a Flash Cannon. Yeah, that's just a big old mistake by me. I meant to click Light Screen there. I'm just going to go for damage. If I lose Floette, so be it. They switch Sinistcha in. Heal their Chaldon. So that was probably not super worth it, actually. I should have switched there. I thought about switching to Komodo, and that would have been the better play. But now, I can just Leaf Storm and Clanging Scales. And they can't redirect Leaf Storm because Serperior, being a grass type, is immune to Rage Powder. Obviously, our Chaldon resists since behind a Light Screen. I crit it. Okay, I was going to say it'll do some damage anyway because it's not that bulky. Actually, it did some damage anyway because of a crit. So, some good luck for me there. Now it's Sinistcha Pelipper, but Serperior is boosted now. It's a +2 special attack. This is a mixed Komodo. I did not notice that earlier, and I did not EV it like one. Well, with our Chaldon gone, Melodic should go crazy here. Obviously, it's weak to Macho Gotcha. But yeah, first I get a big Leaf Storm into Pelipper. As a Citrus Berry, so it'll hold on a bit longer. But, okay, they crit Melodic with a Hurricane. But I'm glad that didn't go into Komodo. They can Hurricane Serperior pretty freely now. I'll just Leaf Storm anyway, because I don't want to give up my boosts, if I can avoid it. And I'll go for my Coil here. Sinistcha's still a little hard to deal with. They Life Dew, they Hurricane Serperior, but the Light Screen comes in handy there. And Serperior also is kind of a deceptively bulky Pokemon. And I missed the Leaf Storm after all that. And Serperior is in range of the next Hurricane, so... That's not great. I think I still let Serperior go down here. I could try to preserve it by sacking Komodo, but I don't think that's worth it. I think Komodo is at least as good into their team as Serperior is. So I'll just click Leaf Storm again. The nice thing about messing up my screens order is that I get one more turn of Light Screen here, although I don't think it'll actually really come in handy. But I'll click Hypnosis into Sinistcha because I'm still a little bit afraid of Macho Gotcha. Although they haven't shown it so far. They might not have it. Serperior survives the Hurricane on a roll. Thank you, Light Screen. We land the Leaf Storm this time. Pelipper is gone. That Light Screen... Okay, messing up the order of my screens actually comes in super clutch there. As Serperior is able to get that to make the most of that extra turn of Light Screen. Now I crit Sableye with the Muddy Water, but I also landed Leaf Storm at +6, so the crit didn't matter. And now we just try to overwhelm Sinistcha. Stays asleep. Last turn of Trick Room. +6 Leaf Storm does so much, even into the resistance through the Light Screen. If I just land an attack here, I'm fine. And look at that, Serperior Sweep. That might be better than the Mega Charizard X stuff. Serperior was very lucky to make it through those Trick Room turns, but it did, and it just swept the opposing team aside after Floette went down, perhaps kind of foolishly. But that's it. The weakness of these Archaludon teams, right? Often they're committed pretty hard to the Archaludon to be a threat. I mean, I think you should bring more than one offensive Pokemon with this team. Like, I think bringing all of Sableye, Pelipper, and Sinistcha was the main issue for my opponent there. But the thing about the Raid Boss playstyle with Archaludon is if the Raid Boss goes down, sometimes the minions aren't strong enough to keep things going. Anyway, that's 3-0, so let's see if I can wrap this one up quickly. I believe this team also did well at Turin. I was originally planning to feature it, but then Gengar won the tournament on a different team. I imagine Perish Trap is a pretty significant weakness for this team that I'm running, because this team wants its members to sit on the field for a long time. So I don't know my matchup into Gengar. It could be pretty bad. I don't think it's likely to be a very good matchup. Honestly, Weird Ear is probably my best Gengar answer, which is also pretty strange. Or weird, you could say. I'm going to try leading Melodic and Weird Ear. I also like Weird Ear in this matchup for Trick Room, actually. So maybe throwing Weird Ear out there early isn't the best thing to do, but I think there's a case for it. I'll bring Ceruledge, because it's one of my better answers to Tinkaton, honestly. And Mega Floette is not even that good here because they have Gengar and Tinkaton. But it is my best answer to Komodo. And it does a lot of damage to the rest of their team. I'm going to bring Floette and hope for the best. But this feels like a bad matchup, considering how I've been playing this team up to this point. Tinkaton, Gengar against Melodic and Weird Ear, so they can fake out Weird Ear. I'm going to switch Melodic out to Ceruledge while I still can. And I'm going to click Trick Room, but it will probably be denied. Yep, confirmed. Perish Song. The question is, so Ceruledge can always switch out of the Perish Trap, so that much is fine. The question is, how do they preserve their Gengar? I'm going to click Bitter Blade into Tinkaton and Trick Room here. They just Shadow Ball Ceruledge. I could have just taken out... They just doubled Ceruledge. I could have just taken out the Gengar right there. But I thought they'd protect. Alright, they got me good with that. Absolutely boomed me there. Okay, I'm going to go for a Coil here, because I think Gengar has to protect this time. I'm going to target it with a Psyshield Bash in case it doesn't, but... Yeah, I mean, surely. Melodic should be fine to set up this Coil, although I don't remember, even though I've seen this team, I don't remember Tinkaton's moves. Okay, they Encore me into Coil, so... But Melodic wasn't doing enough here anyway, unless I wanted to just click a Raw Hypnosis into Tinkaton. Which, honestly, I could have. They can just switch Incineroar in here for free. So Psyshield Bash doesn't even work. I'm going to lose Weird Ear to the Perish Trap now. I'll click Hypnosis into Tinkaton now. Komodo switches into that slot. Incineroar into the other slot. Alright. Well, I do manage to put Komodo to sleep before Weird Ear goes down. But I think I just lose to the Perish Gengar now. Yeah, I didn't know how to play against Perish Gengar with this team, and it showed. But, yeah, that's what happens sometimes. I'm actually going to go for the Calm Mind if I can get it, because maybe there's some super turbo crit that I can use to still beat Gengar, but probably not. And they probably fake out Floette here anyway. Yeah. Now there's only one turn of Trick Room left. Melodic still can't attack. I'll just Moonblast Gengar and hope that there's something I can do. That doesn't do a whole lot. And I just lose to the Perish Trap now. If I just attacked Gengar on, what, turn 2? When they click the Shadow Ball into Ceruledge? I mean, that's not GG. There's still a lot to try to figure out after that, but it's a different game. But they made a smart read there, and they got me. Okay, so 3-1. At least one more game with this team. You know what? Maybe the problem here was that I didn't bring Serperior. Maybe that's what I needed to do differently. Who knows? Let's get Melodic to +6 attack if we can. They can do whatever they want here. They can lose their mons to the Perish Trap and they still have the other two in the back. And that is what they're going to do. Alright, GG. Maybe this Melodic can go in the thumbnail at least. Okay. Next opponent. That opponent was way higher than me on the ladder, and I've been climbing quite a bit just in this video. Alright, Komodo, Basculegion, Mousehold, Incineroar, Venusaur, Floette. Interesting. Probably Mega Venusaur, but definitely Mega Floette, so they have to pick one. There are some targets against which Serperior can snowball here. I mean, like, mainly Mousehold and Basculegion. But I think we definitely go back to the screen stuff. But honestly, Mega Venusaur is really hard for me to deal with. Why is Stantler? Why is Weird Ear my best offensive threat to Mega Venusaur? There's one weird team. One weird deer. Mega Venusaur is a big threat, actually, if that is what they have. Strong into Melodic, it's strong into Floette. It's not weak to Bitter Blade once a Mega evolves. I think I have to bring Weird Ear to this game. But I don't think I have to lead it. But I think I might anyway. No. Maybe. Let's do Serperior, Floette, Weird Ear. I think I need Komodo this game. Okay. Leaving Melodic behind feels weird. Melodic is definitely feeling like the best Pokemon on the team so far, but I'm just going to Leaf Storm Basculegion, try to get some setup, and I'll just switch Floette out to Komodo right away. They bring in Mouse Hold. Okay, damage like that is not bad for me. It is Mega Venusaur. I mean, I figured. I missed the Leaf Storm, but they Sludge Bomb Serperior. That is very bad for me. I'll go Weird Ear here. Why not? I'm going to go all in on Clangorous Soul. Maybe they have Floette in the back, although they Mega Evolved Venusaur, so probably not. Also, maybe they just put Komodo to sleep here. That's the real risk. No, they just Giga Drain Weird Ear. I guess that makes sense. They get rid of the Psyshield Bash threat. Alright. I'm just going to throw off my big attacks and we'll see what happens. Just throw off my spread damage here. Might need Komodo to sweep this. Protect Mouse Hold. That does so little damage. All those attacks, and they only did half. And they get the poison with Sludge Bomb, so Floette guaranteed drops this next turn. Well, I'll click these attacks anyway, because what else am I going to do? We can bring Basculegion back in. Okay, that might give me a chance to get rid of that. Which is good when I'm lowering Komodo's defense over and over. Of course, now Floette's gone, it's all up to Komodo, and they did bring their Floette. Alright, well done by them. Drain Punch it for 28%. They got me with their Floette. Alright, so after starting with 3 wins in a row with this team, the Jamie Boyd unusual attacks are starting to backfire on me. Back-to-back losses, but 2 more chances to win the series that I made up in my head. Next opponent is Delphox, Garchomp, Whimsicott, Lucario, Basculegion, and Sylveon. I get Delphox is kind of a threat. But maybe I can get back to my melodic stuff against this. That would be nice. Ceruledge is my best answer to Delphox, I think. Let's try double Snake Lead. It's nostalgic. It's just like old times. Except the snakes have very different sets here. I don't hate Komodo here. What's the ability on this Komodo? Bulletproof? Okay, so it's not immune to Hyper Voice. It's pretty good into... Well, okay, they have 2 fairies and a Psychic. I'm just gonna... Well, their team is very fast. I'm actually gonna bring Weird Ear. Even though Floette's way stronger, obviously. Trick Room could make a real difference in this game. Okay, it's Whimsicott, Basculegion. I'm going to click Leaf Storm into the Basculegion. If Serperior is going to get Encored, I want it to be into Leaf Storm. And I'm just going to go for raw Hypnosis into Whimsicott to try to stop the Encore. This is just like Toronto. I was going to say 2025. It was December 2024, but the 2025 season. This is such a fun, familiar lead for me. Very different format, though. Delphox comes in on Leaf Storm. Just kidding. Leaf Storm misses anyway. I do land Hypnosis into Whimsicott, so that's good. I'll switch Serperior out to Ceruledge here. And go for my Coil. That might be too slow against whatever offense is coming out from Delphox. Delphox will Mega Evolve. Psychic into Melodic. That doesn't do too much, actually. It could get the Special Defense drop. Of course, that also gives me Competitive if it does, but their damage would add up. Just gonna Shadow Sneak here. And honestly start clicking Muddy Water. I still have to be alert to the Encore threat. Thought about Bitter Blading the Whimsicott, but I think the damage into Delphox is more important here. They have Encore on the Delphox. Okay. Either that's the real Encore user or they have it on both. Well, Shadow Sneak still keeps it honest, at least. And with that in mind, I can switch Melodic out here. It's annoying, but I can do it. Alright, let's go Weird Ear. On the Moonblast. Now I'll click Bitter Blade into Whimsicott if they let me. And I think I'm down to go for my Trick Room here. They do just Moonblast with Whimsicott into Weird Ear. I don't get Trick Room. They knock Weird Ear out with effectively the double up. I do knock Whimsicott down to a Focus Sash, which is very good. Yeah, Ceruledge is actually super well positioned into this team. It's really awkward that neither of my Pokemon in the back has Protect. I'll go Serperior because it's more expendable. Try to Shadow Sneak Whimsicott. And just go for a Light Screen. Might have been useful to have earlier in this game. I'm keeping the pressure on Whimsicott so Serperior can't be locked into. I mean, they might not have Encore at this rate. Oh, they definitely don't. I've seen all its moves. What do you know? Now Ceruledge is sleepy. And I need Ceruledge to win the game, right? So I think basically I have to switch it out here. Let's still try to take out the Whimsicott. Actually, I think I might have rather attacked the Sylveon. Oh well, at least they're not getting another Tailwind. And now what? It's sack Serperior and try to win with Ceruledge? I think so. Click a Raw Hypnosis into Sylveon. Leaf Storm into Delphox, but I won't get the chance. So they Psychic instead of clicking Fire moves, so I do get the chance actually. I take out Delphox with that Leaf Storm. And thanks to the Light Screen, Hyper Voice is not doing too terribly much, although I do miss my Hypnosis. But now I get Ceruledge. They've given me the Sun for a little bit longer, but I probably lose to Basculegion. That's unfortunate for me. Well, okay, I can try this one time. Protect and Hypnosis. I still have no accuracy boosts right now. Avoid the Last Respects this turn. The Yawn Melodic. Just gonna have to deal with that. Basculegion does take a nap. Let's go for Muddy Water. Maybe I can get an accuracy drop on something. Let's go for Shadow Sneak into Basculegion. Does more than half. That's good. That's what I want to see. I miss Muddy Water to Basculegion. Fair enough. I've had some good luck with this team. That can't be happening all the time. Melodic will take a nap now. I'll click Life Dew and I'll click Shadow Sneak into Basculegion. I don't know if it has Protect. It didn't go for it. So Basculegion's gone. This means I don't get to take advantage of the Sun against Sylveon. But I do at least get some recovery with Bitter Blade. I have a nice Fairy Resist, and also the Ceruledge is strong enough to just knock Sylveon out anyway. So, weird team. But GG's to my opponents. You know what? This team actually did look super strong here. I don't know how it holds up in best of 3 open team sheets, but it got a good placement at Turin. I don't exactly remember what, but I think like high day 2, so. You know what? This team is maybe pretty real. Once I figured out that Melodic was probably the most important Pokemon on the team, that helped a lot, but also Serperior really surprised me here. Serperior is not usually seen as a very strong Pokemon in a lot of formats. I like it so much because of its design, mainly. I'm a big Serperior fan, but I'm not delusional about its performance in competitive Pokemon. But it actually has a lot of advantages that you can sleep on pretty easily because it has a good speed tier. It's not super bulky, but it's bulkier than you might think, and that Citrus Berry really came in handy for keeping it around in this video. And it doesn't hit very hard, but with +2 special attack every time it lands a Leaf Storm, that snowballs pretty quickly. And then it also gets screens. And then I never clicked Glare in this video, but it does get that for a bit of speed control. So Serperior actually brings a lot to the table. Maybe I should have explored it myself at some point in Reg MA, but I was doing other stuff. But I'm glad that someone did. It looked great in these few battles. And this is a super interesting team, but we're not quite done yet. 5 teams for the video, and that was number 4. Number 5 is pretty simple. It's Hard Trick Room. I haven't really tried Hard Trick Room in Champions. A lot of people have. There were some other creative teams that I could have tried with some other unusual Pokemon on them. Stuff like, there's a Mega Heracross team that almost made the cut here, but I just want to go nuts with Blastoise Hard Trick Room. That's another thing that's been big in Reg MA that I haven't really personally used, but kind of wanted to. So let's end the season with that. And hey, we got some good Charizard games in this video. Now it's time to see if Blastoise can keep up. So let's see what happens. We got Mega Crabominable too, which also is something that I don't think I've ever really tried in this format, but I kind of wanted to. This opponent has Hisuian Arcanine, Floette, Whimsicott, Sneasler, Hisuian Zoroark, and Kingambit. So my 2 Trick Room setters here are Oranguru and Farigiraf. Obviously, if they lead Sneasler, they have a faster Fake Out than Blastoise. And then they could try to knock something out with Kingambit if that's what they want to do, but... yeah, Sneasler or Kingambit lead is hard to deal with, but I think I just... oh, they can't Fake Out if I lead Farigiraf. Never mind. I have the faster Fake Out because I can actually use Fake Out. Okay, then this should be safe to get Trick Room up. I do have to pick only 1 Mega. Actually, Blastoise is a little bit awkward on this team because Torkoal weakens its damage with the Sun. And Crabominable can't Mega Evolve if Blastoise has. But I guess the idea is you blast the opponent with Blastoise until Blastoise goes down, and then you have other strong threats in the back. I'll bring Sinistcha. That pairs really well with Blastoise. There's a case for Crabominable here. There's actually a pretty good case for Crabominable here, even without being able to Mega Evolve it, but I'll bring Torkoal. That's a bit more intuitive, at least. Alright, it's Kingambit Floette lead. So they are trying to do a lot of damage turn 1, I think, and they will be able to. I guess another option was bring Crabominable in the back. Use Fake Out to get Trick Room up, but don't Mega Evolve Blastoise. But that's not what I've done. So let's Fake Out Kingambit and set Trick Room. This is Nasty Plot for Farigiraf too, so it has... well, it's still probably not going to hit super hard because I don't... that's Zoroark. Oh, they completely got me. I didn't even... I've been playing for a while today. I'm tired. I didn't even think about the Zoroark. Well, that's just completely messed me up. Sinistcha knows Trick Room, so it's not completely doomed yet. I'm going to double Zoroark here because it might have the Focus Sash. They switched it out to the real Kingambit. Okay. Alright. Alright, yeah. I think my inexperience with hard Trick Room in this format is probably showing. Now I lose both of these Pokemon, and I try to win with Torkoal. Because it's hard Trick Room, what else am I going to do? Make a switch? Akaberry. Not Colbur, and no Protect on Torkoal, so I don't think this is going to work out for me, but we'll try. We'll go down swinging. Yeah, Sinistcha just drops. I do finally get a KO. But they just completely got me with the Zoroark, which is still in the back, by the way, able to click like a Shadow Ball or Hyper Voice or even Bitter Malice into Torkoal if it wants. But no, they go Arcanine first. They can just win the game with that. I don't know what they're thinking about here. They're thinking about Head Smash, and that wins in the game. Alright, 0-1 start. But maybe now I can properly figure out Hard Trick Room. I mean, what are the chances I run into another Zoroark? Not in this game. We got Venusaur, Charizard. That's still a scary duo here. Garchomp, Incineroar, Floette, and Sinistcha. Let's try this formula again. And I do think it's Crabominable this time. When does this team bring Oranguru to a game? That I don't know. But yeah, they have a lot of fire resists. And I think Crabominable is a little bit more interesting in terms of its coverage into this team. They lead Charizard, Venusaur. Obviously, they can threaten Sleep Powder into Farigiraf or Massive Damage into Farigiraf. I can only Fake Out one target. I'm not even sure I want to Mega Evolve Blastoise this game. I'm going to try the thing that I thought of too late last game. I'm going to Fake Out Venusaur because Sleep Powder just fully shuts down Trick Room. If it connects. They just Solar Beam Blastoise. Yeah, so just as well that I didn't Mega Evolve Blastoise. Water Spout's going to be super weak now. I'll just go for a Dark Pulse into Charizard and Psychic into... I'll just double Venusaur, actually. Charizard protects. Psychic KOs Venusaur. The Dark Pulse doesn't do anything anyway. Okay. I do think Mega Crabominable is, yeah, relatively solid for me here. An Aura Sphere, this Incineroar. So, hey, look at Blastoise still putting in some work. I'll go for a Nasty Plot here. I don't know if I'll get to do anything with it, but it'd be pretty cool if I do. Farigiraf does take that Weather Ball. Okay. Now I have a bunch of pressure with Hyper Voice and... Well, okay, the problem is Charizard can still just kind of sweep me, right? Alright, let's Ice Hammer Charizard this turn. The problem is both my opponent's Pokemon are threatening big Fire-type damage into Crabominable. Well, okay, I take out Charizard with the Ice Hammer, but Incineroar does survive the Hyper Voice, but the Flare Blitz goes into Farigiraf. I mean, they're almost out of Trick Room, right? Sinistcha can try to set it back up. It might not work, but this is the last turn of Sun as well. Also, not a lot of Incineroar run Protect, so I think I can just Mach Punch it and Strength Sap Garchomp, and that does work. If it were a Perish Trap team, they'd probably have Protect on Incineroar, but most other Incineroar probably don't, and now at -1 attack, I don't even think I need Trick Room again. Garchomp doesn't have enough damage into Crabominable, but we don't get to find out as they forfeit. 1 and 1. That was more like it, and Mega Crabominable was a lot of fun already in that game, but let's try to get 3 more wins with it, or Mega Blastoise, or Torkoal, as the case may be. Nasty Plot Farigiraf was really good in that game too. Sylveon, Charizard, Farigiraf, Garchomp, and Incineroar, Aerodactyl. So I cannot just use Fake Out setup to get Trick Room up right away, because they also have Fake Out. I still think Farigiraf is the Trick Room setter of choice, though. I mean, it kind of works out to the same thing. Except Blastoise doesn't have Protect. So it might even be better to lead Crab here. Because Blastoise, if they have Farigiraf and they stop my Fake Out, Blastoise can't just Protect around that. I think it's okay, though. I think I'm going to run the same basic game plan as last time. They do lead their Farigiraf, along with Incineroar. But then, what's their threat? Unless it's Taunt Incineroar, which it totally could be. Or Imprison Farigiraf, actually. That's their threat to stop my Trick Room. With that in mind, I'm actually going to Mega Evolve Blastoise and Dark Pulse Farigiraf. Take advantage of that Mega Launcher. I'll go for the Trick Room anyway. I'll make them prove they have a way to stop it. This means I can't Mega Evolve Crabominable, but it should still hit pretty hard into a lot of their team if I get Trick Room up. So I think it's okay. Okay, big Dark Pulse. Parting Shoot Blastoise. Makes sense. And I also could sack Crabominable to pivot Blastoise back in if that makes sense. Sylveon comes in. They just Psychic. Okay. Reasonable. I'll Water Spout here. It's obviously a bit weakened by... Yeah, fine. I'll Water Spout here and Nasty Plot. It's weakened by the special attack drop, along with the damage. Oh, they're slower than Blastoise and they Hyper Beam. Okay, Blastoise doesn't get to do much here, but now... Let's see what non-Mega Crabominable can do. I'll Ice Hammer Sylveon and Hyper Voice. I'll Ice Hammer Farigiraf. Because I don't know the speed situation between our two Farigiraf here. They just go Incineroar. Hyper Cutter means Crabominable will not get intimidated by that, but Incineroar does resist the Ice Hammer. But I mean, they still can't Fake Out. Sylveon took its mandatory recharge turn there. And Ice Hammer that slot in Hyper Voice now. They can protect Sylveon, but probably not Incineroar. Once again, most of them don't run Protect. So still have a lot of pressure, at least for these next couple turns. After that, it gets hard again. But they let me have their Sylveon. Ice Hammer just KOs. Crabominable, pretty strong Mon, huh? And that leaves him with Farigiraf and what? Charizard. Makes sense. My Farigiraf might just win the game, honestly. They probably protect Charizard here. They do also protect Farigiraf. If I had Sinistcha on the field, I could make the double Trick Room play, but I don't. Alright, I guess the key here is, can I get another Trick Room? I think there's a good chance that I can, but we'll have to see. Judging by what happened last game, I'm optimistic. There's the Mega Charizard Y. Weather Ball into Farigiraf. Oh, that does too much damage. Wait, maybe not with the Citrus Berry. Oh, they went for Psychic into Crabominable. They were counting on Charizard Y to one-shot Farigiraf. It was close, but once again, comes up short. Their Farigiraf underspeeds mine. I needed to Ice Hammer Giraffe there. It may not be over, though. It might be over. Let's see what this non-Mega Ice Hammer does to Charizard. Did I get the Trick Room back up only to throw the game anyway? Yeah, it looks like it. Huckleberry Sinistcha survives that, but now what does it do? Matcha Gotcha, because that's all that's left? Okay, I needed to Ice Hammer Farigiraf instead of Charizard. I've made that right play on an earlier turn, I think, but I got it wrong that time. Alright, 1 and 2. Having a tricky time here with hard Trick Room, but still a ways to go. Next opponent has Aerodactyl, Basculegion, Floette, Sneasler, Bellibolt, and Glamora. I've heard about Bellibolt in Reg MA, but I think I have genuinely never faced one in this format until now. I think this is my very first Bellibolt, but I've heard some people say that it's very good, and others question that, but I believe that I can't completely sleep on it, that's for sure. Is it crazy that I want to bring Torkoal? I don't think it is. I think Torkoal is actually better than Crabominable here. Even though my opponent is 2 rock types. I mean, how well are they taking an Eruption, right? They could have Wide Guard and Aerodactyl, but we'll find out. Bellibolt and Floette. So I think I want my Fake Out to go into Bellibolt. I don't think I need to attack Bellibolt here. I think I can switch Blastoise out. I'm going to try that. Prevent a bunch of damage on Blastoise turn 1. I don't give them Electromorphosis. They still take out Torkoal, which is really bad for me. I just gave them the Sun to weaken my own Water Spout. And for what? I'll Water Spout anyway, because it's the best I've got. And hope I can get a Nasty Plot as well. With Blastoise attracting attention away from Farigiraf. If I were just sacking something, I would rather it have been Crabominable, actually. They crit Blastoise with a Thunderbolt, knock it out. And I think I'm cooked. I think I didn't know how to play against Bellibolt. I should have figured it was very slow. It looks like a slow Mon, but... yeah, I didn't realize it was going to underspeed Mega Blastoise there. I guess I didn't know Bellibolt's speed stat. I guess it makes sense. It looks like it would be slower than Blastoise, but... once again, getting experience stiffed a little bit here, as I've heard about Bellibolt in this format, but I do not think I've ever faced one a single time until now. Now I've charged it. And the crazy thing is... I was thinking about clicking Psychic into Glamora here, but no, it's going to be another Hyper Voice. Okay, they Spiky Shield, so right call there. They have Discharge. They hit Farigiraf with that. Alright. Well, it's not over yet, but it's pretty over. Floette's back. I don't have life due on this Sinistcha. I guess something has to give if you're running Trick Room. I guess I'll just Matcha Gotcha and Hyper Voice. That way I don't have to click Psychic into Glamora, as long as Matcha Gotcha connects. Crit the Floette. But it's just not enough damage. They can win with Dazzling Gleam now? What's their last mon? Trick Room's over, it doesn't matter. It's Basket Legion. Click Matcha Gotcha because that's all I've got. Drop to Last Respects. Alright, 1 and 3. Can I pull this one back? This has definitely been my weakest run so far with one of these teams. It feels doomed. It's a spot throw out of Chaladon stuff. I mean, maybe that's not so good in the Trick Room, though. Maybe there's something I can do. I'm bringing Orin Guru to this game. They don't have Fake Out. Unless Sableye does, but it probably doesn't. Sableye can't usually afford Fake Out. I'm bringing Orin. They could get me with Encore Disable stuff. I don't care. I haven't brought Orin Guru yet, and the extra power of instructing my moves could be a pretty big deal, I think. I'm bringing... I'm leaving the Blastoise behind this game. I'm bringing Crabominable, Orin Guru, Sinistcha, and Torkoal. No Blastoise for Fake Out pressure. No Farigiraf to stop Sableye from messing with my team. Oh, they can just quash me. Maybe I need Farigiraf. Fine. You know what? I'm going to bring Orin Guru instead of Sinistcha. Let's try that. Because it's not like I need to keep my Blastoise's health up for Water Spout when I'm not bringing Blastoise anyway. Protect. Trick Room. Sableye can't do any of its shenanigans. There's actually no reason not to Mega Evolve Crabominable. It's the only Mega I've brought, but that's fine. I can do it now. Ice Hammer and Psychic for maximum power into Meganium, because I'm kind of scared after that Reflect went up, as I apparently should be. Okay, but I get the KO. Nice. Now it's our Chaladon. Can I just close combat and Psychic that? That does a lot. Armor Tail is really messing with this Sableye, I think, which is great news for me. Our Chaladon doesn't get knocked out. I wasn't that optimistic that it would be, but Crabominable did a lot, and it's not even gone yet. Even with lowered defenses, Crabominable takes the Electro Shot. Our Chaladon might not be in range of Psychic, so I'm going to probably close combat again and click Nasty Plot with Farigiraf, but there's no need as they forfeit. Still alive, 2 and 3. Maybe I just need to focus more on Crabominable. It's been doing more for me than Blastoise so far. This opponent has Farigiraf, Incineroar, Vivillon, Sylveon, Golurk, and Basket Legion. So if I want to run Trick Room, I actually need Blastoise this time because I need to be able to Fake Out Vivillon before it puts my Trick Room setter to sleep. Unless my Trick Room setter is Sinistcha, that also is an option. But no, I need Farigiraf, I think, to stop Incineroar Fake Out. So I think it has to be Blastoise Farigiraf lead, despite what I said at the end of that last game. I think I need Torkoal because I need to be able to threaten Golurk in Trick Room. Golurk... Well, how slow is Crabominable? Golurk is super slow. It is faster than Crabominable, at least before it Mega Evolves. So maybe I don't need Torkoal. Alright, we'll go back to these 4 after all. They lead Farigiraf, Vivillon. Oh, the one thing I didn't cover for. Farigiraf, Vivillon. I can't Fake Out the Vivillon. What I can do, but I don't think really works, so never mind. Well, they could miss their Sleep Powder. It's very unlikely. They Sleep Powder that slot. Oh, they have Imprisoned to stop my Trick Room. Okay. Alright, well, I don't even know what moves I can use. Let's go Sinistcha anyway. Sinistcha is actually the answer to this because it's immune to Rage Powder, or Sleep Powder, and Vivillon is not immune to Rage Powder. So I played this wrong from the get-go. Now they bring the Farigiraf back in. So the Imprison was gone, but it'll be back now. I can never click Trick Room with anything as long as it's still there. Sylveon can just sweep my team aside. I don't know how I beat this. So it's possible that I don't. Helping Hand from the Farigiraf. Okay, that narrows down the pool of moves that we could have in common, but also means Sylveon's about to wipe me out, I think. They don't Imprison. I get one Hyper Voice, and then I lose my Farigiraf. I think I just have to count on Mega Blastoise to break through here. I'm just going to go for Water Spout right now, honestly. Why not? And Trick Room if I can. Sylveon detects. I do take out the Farigiraf, and I do get Trick Room. Sylveon going to be slower than Blastoise, though? Probably, honestly, on this team. Golurk is certainly going to be slower than Blastoise. So I'm still probably kind of cooked here. I'm just going to Water Spout and Matcha Gotcha. There's only so much they can do to stop both of those. Golurk will Mega Evolve. Poltergeist goes into Blastoise. And then Hyper Voice comes out next and they win. Alright. This team has felt rough. I mean, I know that Hard Trick Room isn't in the best place in Regulation MA. It still felt very usable, but I hadn't tried it myself, and I guess that shows. Well, we've seen some ups and downs in this video. I've tried a couple of teams that I absolutely loved. Yes, the Jamie Boyd Serperior team was one of them, but the Marcus Hamon Mega Charizard X team I think was my favorite today. It's been a really solid day of laddering with these teams from Turin, and I think it's okay to end on a bit of a dud when the rest of it was so strong. And that's not me calling the team a dud. The team made day 2 at a major tournament. As always, if I'm doing badly with it, the issue is probably me and not the team. But whatever happened there, I had a lot of fun for sure. This team was cool. This team was cool. These ones as well, but I think this was my favorite, and then this. And this one's probably still pretty solid in the right hands. That is the end of Tournament Team Tuesdays for this VGC season. It's off-season time. Probably not going to be a whole lot of VGC content for me to do, but who knows? Maybe I'll play a grassroots tournament in MB or something. I have had a lot of fun trying out teams from major tournaments all throughout the season across multiple different formats, and even, very unusually, across 2 different games. I'll probably pick out at least a couple of personal favorites and put them in the cards. So we might be reaching way back in the season for those. Like, I really enjoyed this one with Frostmoth in Regulation H. Frostmoth actually looked incredible in this video, which is pretty surprising, but well, watch it to find out. Frostmoth had an amazing time. I'm a real enjoyer of cheese, so I also enjoyed this Drifblim Dondozo thing with minimized Drifblim passing into Dondozo. That's not everyone's cup of tea, but I enjoy a silly team like that once in a while. But I'll see what I can dig up to feature with this video. We can take a trip back in time and look over the season. VGC is, well, my own VGC journey is in kind of a weird place right now, but game is still a lot of fun. There's a reason I put so much time into it. I like it a lot. And I'll probably be back next season. I'm not 100% sure that I'll still do Tournament Team Tuesdays next season, but it's one of the simple, basic, regular things that I do all the time, so good chance to come back. And after 2 seasons in a row only going to 1 major tournament, I really hope I'll make it to at least 2 next season. But that's a question for then. For now, time to take a break as we come to the end of something one more time, and look ahead later to the start of something new.